Alright, here we are in the Gateway Pundit. Welcome to the next proxy war. France and US backed West African democracies. I kinda doubt the democracy part, but anyway. Try to overthrow Nigerian coup. Coup? While Russia backs Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea, probably said those names wrong, vowing to defend the military junta, don't know how to pronounce that either. The stage is set for military conflict in Africa following Nigeria's coup d'etat. I know that one. That ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. France and the Western community are backing the Economic Community of West African states. The stage is set for military conflict in Africa, following Niger's coup d'etat. The ousted President Mohamed Bazoum, France, and the Western community are backing the Economic Community of West African states that issued an ultimatum to the coup d'etat, threatening military action as the last resort. So far, Nigeria, Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire, and Benin, probably said those names wrong, have confirmed their readiness to take part in the intervention. On the other side, Russian-friendly Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Mali, called the Coup Association by its detractors online, have already locked arms and vowed to defend Niger in case of attack. Alrighty. So on the one side you have Western puppet states, and on the other side you have Russian puppet states. Niger's National Council for Safeguarding the Homeland has denounced the military pact with France and warned the neighboring African states not to intervene. In a televised address on Thursday night, a representative of the putschist government said that Niger will immediately suspend all military cooperation agreements with France, including the deal under which Paris has deployed around 1,500 troops in Sahi County. Again, probably said that wrong. Earlier in the day, on the 63rd anniversary of Niger's independence from Paris, Provisional Leader Takini Junti blocked the signal of French broadcasting, France 24 and Radio France Internationale, again according to AFP. The Economic Community of West African States has issued an ultimatum to Niger to restore the ousted president, Bazoum, by Friday or face a military intervention. Niger's southern neighbor, Nigeria, has already begun mustering troops on the border according to local media. So what business is it of other African countries if the government of another country gets ousted? Isn't there a saying, mind your own damn business? A delegation from the Economic Community of West Africa arrived in N'Djamena, probably said that wrong, on the evening of Thursday, August 3rd, to try to find a way out of the crisis, 8 days after the coup d'etat in Niger, which overthrew President Mohamed. I'll just stick with Mohamed, it's easier. The elected official, sequestered at his home, spoke through a form in the American newspaper Washington Post. I call on the American government and the entire international community to help restore constitutional order. Fight for our common values, he wrote while recalling the devastating consequences of the coup. In particular, the Russian interference propagated by the Wagner Group don't know what that name is. So I'm getting a sense that the Russians orchestrated a coup, outed this president, who is probably pro-West because he's calling on the Americans to help. Wow, this is some real Cold War stuff going on here. France is upset because their TV stations were blocked, so they condemned it. It's against freedom of the press, freedom of expression, which is weird because if you're a nationalist in France and you speak out against all the mass immigration, you'll probably get arrested and or fined for hate speech. So it says the situation can be understood in the context of the fading French influence in the continent. Yeah, sphere of influence. Theirs is fading. And the Russians are upset because they've lost influence in Africa too. And now we switch over to Muammar Gaddafi. What did I do to you? Last words of Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. Now I don't know if he was a good leader or not, but according to Google, or Wikipedia, one or the other, former Libya leader Muammar al-Gaddafi was a close ally of the Soviet Union, despite his country's membership in the non-aligned movement. Russia also regards Libya as one of its strongest allies in the Arab world and has supported stabilization of the country following the aftermath of the Libyan civil war. So again, as far as I can tell, Muammar Gaddafi was pro-Russian. Also in this article here, he says Europe will turn black unless the EU pays Libya $4 billion a year. So he probably didn't realize it, but he just put a nail in his coffin. And why? Because Europe likes the immigration for 3 reasons. 1, cheap labor. 2, division through diversity. And 3, I don't think they like the native white population. They want to destroy the homogeny, and a good way to do that is through diversity. So in summary, when I look at the rebellion in Libya, it very much looks like it was financed and instigated by the West, because they wanted the immigration and they didn't like the fact that he was friends with Russia. In my opinion, anyway. So circling back to all this rising tensions in Africa, I couldn't help but remember or think of, hey, you know who would be really good for Russia in this African conflict? Why, an arms dealer, of course. Oh hey, look at that, Victor Bout, an imprisoned Russian arms dealer with the ominous nickname Merchant of Death, who the Russians had made no secret of their desire to get Bout home. On Thursday, Bout and Grinner, who's Grinner? This person, apparently she's a WNBA something or other, was trading Brittany Grinner for notorious arms dealer. Really the best deal? No. So yeah, people say Putin is a brainless brute, and yet when I look at him, it seems like he's playing 4D chess. And when it comes to arming these African countries, what does Russia have lots of? Vodka and AKs. On a personal note, there's a reason why Lord of War is one of my favorite movies. It's about an arms dealer who smuggles weapons to places like Africa and so on. It stars Nicolas Cage. I'd highly recommend it, especially with everything that's going on. Anyway, that's it for my thoughts on this chess game. Well, take care out there in Clown World.